Someone said that I should marry Gustafa, and I said maybe. Hey friends, I'm Ashley and welcome to Ash's Cozy Corner. Yes, another video about Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life, and more are coming because I love this game. I wanted to make a guide for bachelors and bachelorettes mainly because I kept seeing so many comments about people being stressed over how to woo somebody in just a year. It's actually way easier than you think, and I had every single bachelor and bachelorette maxed out by the end of year one. Remember, you do not even have to do that for every single person, just whoever you want to marry, which makes it even easier. To start with this guide, yes, in Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life, you do have to get married within your first year. You'll receive a blue feather in summer that you can actually use to propose with, or if you don't use the blue feather, you can wait until the end of year one and you'll choose from a list of eligible bachelors and bachelorettes that have high enough affection for you. Keep in mind that you will miss out on at least one cutscene by waiting until the end of year one. If you choose to propose with the blue feather, you can do so safely at around 8 hearts. This will allow you to also have an engagement cutscene, which is just an extra date cutscene available for proposing. No matter when you propose, whether it's the beginning of summer or late winter, you will not get married until the beginning of year 2. Speaking of cutscenes, each bachelor will have 4 cutscenes and each bachelorette will have 5 cutscenes apiece. None of them are required to propose, so don't worry if you haven't seen any of them. But if you're trying to see them all, please, please, please note that if you do the last heart event with Molly, it will stop you from seeing any more heart events with anyone else. This actually happened to me and I was pretty upset, so I wanted to give you a warning. I cannot confirm if it happens with any of the other girls' last heart events, as I was stopped from seeing anymore. I would just err on the side of caution for sure if you're trying to see them all. One really awesome thing about the cutscene heart events is that if you answer correctly, you'll earn affection or friendship points with that specific bachelor or bachelorette, which is such an easy way to get extra points faster. Something else to keep in mind is if you have someone you are really interested in, I would go ahead and propose. There are rival cutscenes in this game where you will see other bachelors and bachelorettes showing or sharing their feelings for one another. I was trying to woo Matthew, and before I proposed, I had already seen 2 or 3 rival cutscenes of him and Cecilia, one with him even thinking that he was in love with her. Let me tell you, it was weird proposing to Matthew after seeing that cutscene. So, to spare the weirdness, just propose before you see those rival cutscenes. Your rival couples in this game are Matthew and Cecilia, Gustafa and Nami, and Rock and Lumina. Okay, on to the gift giving. In Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life, you can give multiple gifts per day. This means it really doesn't take that long at all to get maxed out on affection and friendship, especially if you're giving gifts every single day. I'm going to list out what I found was the easiest gifts to give out, not necessarily what they love the most. Keep in mind, this will work perfectly fine, as like I said, I had completely maxed out friendship and affection for every single bachelor and bachelorette. We'll start with the bachelorettes. So for Cecilia, she is actually one of the easiest to max out, as she is almost always on Vesta's farm. Cecilia likes flowers, milk, any veggies from your farm, and strange objects from the dig site. I would typically give her a flower, milk, and a random crop every day, as that was easiest. Molly is next, and she works at the cafe in town. She likes flowers, coins, egg soup, and butter or cheese. I would typically give her a flower and egg soup, and sometimes a coin if I had it in a day. Molly typically stays in the cafe most days. Nami was a little harder for me at first, as I felt like everything I gave her she hated. After a bit of trying, I found that she likes leaf fossils, milky soup, most veggies that you grow, and only the trick blue flowers that grow in fall. Most days I would give her a veggie and a leaf fossil, but as soon as you have access to the trick blue flowers, I would give her those as well. Nami was one villager that goes to a lot of different places, so I would use your map to find her each day. You can typically find her in her room at the inn every morning around 9 or 10 as soon as she wakes up. Lumina was probably the last bachelorette I tried to get maxed out, just because her house is at the top of the village and I just didn't go up there very often. When I did though, I found she was very easy to max out, as you can just give her 2 different flowers a day, not just one, and her affection grows fairly quickly doing just 2 flowers. If you want to know more of what she likes, she also likes eggs and mushrooms as well. Next up is the bachelors, and we'll start with Matthew. Since Cecilia and Matthew are basically always near each other, these two are fairly easy to max out at the same time. Most of the time you'll find find Matthew at Vesta's farm, and he likes a lot of stuff, including milk, eggs, veggies and apples, health potions, and herbal soup. To make it easier, I would just give him some milk, herbal soup, a veggie I grew, and sometimes an egg. Rock was also pretty simple as he lives pretty close and you can catch him in his room at the inn at 12 p.m. He likes toy flowers and Miss Moon flowers specifically, milky soup, and clay figurines. Most days, I would just give him a flower he liked and milky soup. Gustafa was a chance for me. For some reason, I would always be searching for him or accidentally spot him somewhere and gift him. However, you can find him in his yurt at 11 a.m., so right before you go gift Rock, you can go to Gustafa's house and give him milk, wildflowers, or the white gemstones you find in the mines. I typically just gifted milk and a flower. Gordy is last, and let me tell you, he was the last person I maxed out because it is so hard to get him to accept gifts. Anytime his arms are crossed, he will not accept them. Most of the time, I would go to his house around 4 to 5 p.m. and not leave until 7 p.m. just to give him 2 gifts. If at all possible, try to find him while he's walking toward Turtle Pond or the beach, which sometimes happens after 10:30 a.m. Gordy likes milk, flowers, moonlight ore, and eggs. I would normally give him a flower, milk, and an egg on the same day. Remember that while it's easiest to gift most of them as soon as they get up if you can, sometimes that's just not possible and you can easily find them by using the map with minus and seeing where they are at the current time. I just wanted to say it again that these may not be the most loved items, but they worked and I maxed out really fast. So if you know of any better items that are relatively easy to find, definitely comment those below. Also, I'm super curious on who you're going to marry and why. I personally chose Matthew just because I judged the books by the cover before the game came out and I was like, yep, I'm marrying him, and I stuck with it. If I didn't see his arrival cutscenes before I proposed, I would probably like my choice a little bit more, but you win some, you lose some. That's the end of this guide, and I really hoped it helped you to find what you can give the bachelors and bachelorettes in Forgotten Valley. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a cozy day and God bless.